Eric Burgess here, and we've been given the following equation and told to solve it. So looking at this, we say, well, our first goal is to get the absolute value by itself. That way we can just look at that. This 4 is definitely not a welcome contributor here. So what we're going to do is we're first going to divide out by 4, just to get the absolute value by itself. So when we do that, we're going to get the absolute value of x minus 3 is greater than, and then 12 divided by 4 is just 3. So now we can do what we were doing earlier with inequalities. So we say, okay, well, x minus 3, this has always got to be greater than 3. So for x minus 3 to be greater than 3, well, let's think about this. Well, if the number inside of here is negative, like negative 3, the absolute value will make it positive. So if we had like negative 4, that would become positive 4, and positive 4 is greater than 3. So what we'd say is, well, this interval here, x minus 3, if we want to compare this to negatives, well, let's just say that this is a negative over here. Well, we want this side to be less than this side, right? We want it to be less than that side, because when it's less than that side, we're going to get things like negative 4, negative 5, and when we plug those in, that's going to become greater than 3. And on the other side, we're going to get x minus 3, and we simply want this interval to always be greater than 3. And so this is going to be our two sets. Some people memorize it as a rule. You do plus minus and then you flip the inequalities. I can find that a little confusing sometimes, especially if you don't remember the rule really clearly. So you can go ahead and just think through it like I just did, and you can set up the inequalities yourself. Just kind of by like logically thinking about what would the results be. So now solving this, if we add 3 to both sides, we're going to get x is less than 0. And on this side, if we solve this, we add 3 to both sides, and we're going to get x is greater than 6. And so if we were to graph this, let's go ahead and graph it. So x has got to be less than 0. So let's put 0 down, and let's put 6 down. We'll put 6 over here. And I'll do the one side in red. So here's x less than 0. Well, 0 is not included, so it's a parenthesis. And we're going this way. Everything less than 0. Now we'll do x must be greater than 6. Again, a parenthesis going this way. So these two areas, these two values will make our interval true, but they don't overlap. And so in order to conjoin them, we have to write like this. X is an element of the set. And then in the set, we're going from negative infinity all the way up to 0. So we start at negative infinity. We go up to 0, and we close it. 0 is not included, so it gets a parenthesis. And negative and positive infinity always get a parenthesis. Then we put a union, because we want to join it up with this side, which would also make it true. So we're going to get a union from 6. It's a parenthesis as well, because there's no equals 2 on the inequality. Up to positive infinity. And then again, infinity always gets a parenthesis. And we close our bracket. And this is our solution. Now we can check our solution. There's a couple ways you could check it. First, you could check and make sure that 0 and 6 actually do give 3. But I'm just going to check something inside the interval and see if it comes out true. So let's check, for example, on this interval, negative 1 is in the interval. So let's check out negative 1. So if we pick negative 1, we're going to get negative 1 minus 3. Well, that's negative 4. And 4, the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. And 4 times 4 is 16. And 16 is greater than 12. So we smile upon this interval. It appears to work out and be true. Now if we go to our other interval, 6, well, let's pick a number greater than 6. So let's pick an easy number 2. So let's pick like 10. 10's easy to work with. So we're going to do, or in fact, let's pick something smaller like 7. 7 would be easier. So we come up here, we pick 7. 7 minus 3, well, that's 4. Absolute value of 4 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 is greater than 12. So we see this interval works as well. And so this would be our solution. If you have any questions about this, let me know. If you're a Citrus College student, feel free to stop by online tutoring. We're there to help you out, and we'll catch you in the next problem.